It's really important that you get the source code for this course. A lot of the projects start with existing code or existing data, and you're going to need to build on top of it. And of course, where do we put the code? We put it on GitHub. You can find it over at github.com/talkpython/100 days of web with Python course. So let's go over there and see what you'll find when you get there. Here's the GitHub repo for our project. First thing you need to do is go and star this and fork it. So you're going to want to fork this repository so that you have it with you and you can make changes to yours, and also star it just so you have quick reference. Then you're going to want to download it somehow. Either click here and copy the clone URL and just clone it with Git if you're familiar with that. If for some reason you don't want to mess with Git, that's fine. Just grab it here and just download the zip file. Git's a little better because you can do a git pull and then update it if we make any changes. Of course, a zip file is probably just fine. You can always update that as well. Now, the most important part is the days. So here you can see these are the 4-day projects that we've talked about. So here we're going to talk about Flask and then HTML5 and then CSS basics and things like that. Let's jump into the CSS one to see what's there. I told you it's important to start with this because there's existing code to work with. And one of the things you do is work with this thing called Selectorville to play with CSS selectors. It's like a little app that lets you type CSS selectors into it and it'll generate changes in the page basically. Then the most important part is your turn. As you know, you're going to be writing some code in this course. Here's where you go. So you come in here and this talks about the various stuff that you've done, kind of like the flow we discussed in the beginning. Day 1, you just watch the videos. Day 2, you play with Selectorville. That's the thing you just saw next to this folder. So we're going to go play with that. It talks a little bit how to do that. On day 3, one of the things we did in these videos is build out a custom navigation. So it says, hey, why don't you try to recreate the talkpython.fm, the podcast navigation bar up here, like this, just this top black box. So it talks about here's how you do it, and here's some of the tools for it. And then finally, the 4th day for this one is to play with Bootstrap themes. And then finally, share what you've learned. So make sure you get the code because each 4-day project will be something like this.